Hi, Omega Chaos here again with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. So this time I'm showing my Salamangreat deck. So this deck is actually pretty competitive in a current format because of the new card called Tico Talker Hitzel, which supports a lot of cyberspace decks. So it's pretty much a pure deck. I'm not running any of the Code Talker main deck cards in this, but I think this deck is definitely still really good. Unfortunately, I don't own Access Code Talker, so that will of course make the deck even better, but right now it's a bit too expensive for me. But we'll see in the future. So let's cover this deck. So first the monsters, so I use that one Salamangreat Gazelle. Of course, right now it's still at 1, but I do expect it to be at multiple soon, because of course this card is not that good anymore. Then of course I use triple Salamangreat Spinny, obviously very obvious, really good. Extender, and of course really good for making your rank 3 as well, so definitely very nice. Then I use 2 Salamangreat Foxy. Of course it's still really good, but I would say I don't think I need any more than 2 because of course I don't want to use too many normal summons in this deck. Then I use 1 Salamangreat Jaguar. I think it's pretty good. Obviously really good, very important actually, but maybe I should run more than 1 because I do run both of the stars as well, but right now I only run 1 for now. Then I use 1 Salamangreat Falco. Pretty good, I think. Can recycle your Salamangreat spell and traps, and can run revive stuff as well, but you can only use 1 of those effects per turn. Then I use 1 Salamangreat Foul, extra extender and good for rank 4 plays. Maybe I should run more of this, but I'm not sure. Then I use triple Lady Divag. Many Salamangreat players actually don't use this card and prefer using Flame Buffalo instead, but for me consistency is really important, and this card just gives me that pretty much, because Flame Buffalo needs another card to work, and it just gives you like random draws, and just because you only have 1 Gazelle, of course you need that access to that card as soon as possible. Then I use 1 backup secretary as an extra extender, pretty much, especially to make like your Splash Mage, for example. Then we have some of the hand traps, because of course I use a lot of hand traps in this deck because of the fact that you can draw a lot of cards with Heat Soul, and hand traps of course are really very important in this format because there's just so many things going on right now. So use 1 Ghost Spell and Halt and Vengeance. I think it's pretty good, of course. It's good against any effect that involves the graveyard. I think it's pretty good, I would say. Then of course I use triple Ash Blossom and Geospring, obviously very obvious. I don't think I need to explain this card. Then I use triple Effect Veiler as well, obviously really good. And then I use 2 TD Crow as well, because actually it's pretty good against Despia and some other decks as well. Not sure if we'll keep it then, to be honest. Now let's see the spell cards. So I use 1 Salamangreat Transcendence. Obviously a lot of Salamangreat players don't use this card, but I use it because to summon out Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix in my opponent's turn and then blow up their whole field. I think it's actually pretty good for that combo. Then I use 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary, of course, a very important card for the stack. Then I use 2 Wheel of the Salamangreat. Both effects, of course, are really good. Either revive 1 Salamangreat monster, or if you control a Salamangreat Link monster, that's where it's Link summoned using the same named monster, you can even send it out to the graveyard, summon multiple Salamangreat monsters from the graveyard. Definitely a really amazing card, for sure. Then, of course, I use triple Salamangreat Circle, now at 3. Definitely a very important card. I'm very glad that this card is now at 3. Because obviously now you have a lot of consistency in the stack. So obviously first effect is you add any Salamangreat monster from deck to hand. That's of course the main effect you're going to use most of the time. But it has an additional effect that actually can be pretty useful and sometimes, that you can target some link monster that has been linked someone using the mostly the same name as material, and then that link monster is off it by most affected turn. So definitely I think it's pretty good. Then I use triple cyanide mining. Obviously it's a cyber stack and for that extra consistency pretty much, but of course it's a little bit risky to use because of course you have to discard a card and you might get explosion, but I think the risk is definitely worth it. Then I use 2 Pool of Desires. Obviously I definitely have been very iffy about this card in the past quite a lot. I definitely have never used it before in this deck, but I think it's of course really good because it's a pot of crit pretty much, and most of the time you're going to pot of Desires after you have already done your combo to just get extra cards. But I'm not sure if I'll keep it then. I'll definitely have to test it out more. Then of course I use 1 Cold by the Grave as my last spell card. Pretty obvious to stop hand traps and stuff like that. Then the trap cards, I of course use 1 Salamangreat Drawer. Obviously really good, negate anything and recycle itself as well. 1 Salamangreat Range to destroy cards on the field. Definitely really good. Obviously before I have used like multiples of the Salamangreat trap cards, but because I use so many hand traps I don't really have the space to use multiples of them. And then of course there's my last trap cards are of course the triple infinite permanences, my last hand traps as well. That was the main deck. Now let's see the extra deck. So firstly I use 2 Salamangreat PYRO Phoenix. Obviously most other Salamangreat players don't use this card. I don't really understand why. Obviously I have spaces tight in the extra deck most of the time, but I do feel like this card is very underrated. Of course you can burn your opponent if they summon a link monster, and you can also summon a link monster to your opponent's field. But the main effect is that if you use itself as material, Salamangreat PYRO Phoenix with like Sanctuary or Transcendence, you can then destroy all of your opponent's field, and of course with Transcendence you can do it in your opponent's turn pretty much. So I think that's really amazing because you can just also keep doing it by cycling your PYRO Phoenix using Jack Jaguar. So I think this card is actually really good, and actually in the last local tournament it helped me quite a lot. Then I used 2 Salamangreat Heat Leo. I'm a bit iffy about this card now. It's really good for back removal, but it doesn't really do anything that I can't already do, like PYRO Phoenix for example, or anything else. And of course I don't use the OTK combo anymore with Fusion of Fire because obviously game has changed quite a lot since then. So yeah, might take at least 1 out and just use 1 just in case for like back removal, spot removal. Yeah, definitely have to think about that. Then of course use the main link monster, triple Salamangreat Salad Wolf, of course to recycle your spells and traps and your Salamangreat monsters as well. Definitely still a very important card for this deck. Then for my last Salamangreat extra deck monster I use Salamangreat Balings. Obviously to search out Salamangreat Sanctuary, and also it protects your Salamangreat cards as well by banishing itself. Definitely a really good card. Then I use Decode Talker Heat Soul. I guess you can call it my plan B of this deck, or maybe even the plan A to be honest as well a lot of the time. It's of course really good. You can just pay down life points to throw a card. It's a quick effect, so you can do it on opponent's turn as well. So we must get 2 cards pretty much, and obviously a lot of them can be hand traps because I use quite a lot of those. And of course if you have low enough life points you can also summon, banish itself to summon another link for your lower cyber monster from the deck stack. So I think it's definitely a really amazing card for this deck for sure. Or even some other cyber stacks as well. Then I use 1 Transcode Talker because I think it's still really good. Then I use 1 Update Jammer for the OTK. Yeah, I think pretty good. Then I use one Splash Mage as well, of course, pretty much to summon out your Heat Soul, because of course it's about attribute. And you of course summon like a fire with a Salamangreat, and then that's a different attribute, so that you can then go for Heat Soul. But of course keep in mind, of course, if you use the Exist Monster effect, you can't go into this and use the effect, so yeah. And then the Exist Monsters, I use one Salamangreat Miastallia, obviously really good card for this deck, but again, it has just the restriction that if you use the discard's effect, you can't activate any monster effects other than fire monster's effects, so definitely keep that in mind. But all around, of course, it's a really amazing card for sure. And then I use as the last card in the next deck, number 41, Bogusa, Terrible Tire Taper. Obviously a really amazing card for sure, but obviously I don't think I have that many cards to actually summon it, but I think it's definitely a really good card for sure. But not sure if I will keep it in or not. So that was next deck. So, and now I'm going to show you the combo to summon out Pyro Phoenix in your opponent's turn, so you can blow up your opponent's whole field. So you just need Spinny and Gazelle. Obviously, you can search those cards with many cards pretty much, and also either of those can also be Lady Debug as well. So, of course, you're going to normal summon, your summon gets Spinny, you have to link summon into your Salamangreat Balinks, activate effect of obviously chain link 1, and then chain link 2 is going to be Salamangreat Gazelle, because you sent obviously Salamangreat Monster was sent to the graveyard. And then of course you search for that Sanctuary. Then of course you activate Gazelle, of course, in a new chain, and of course you can send Salamangreat Transcendence to the graveyard, obviously to set up that Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix combo. You can then activate it if you want to right away. Then use Spinny to revive it, because of course you have a Salamangreat monster on your field, and then you're going to Exist summon into Miastallia. Then use Miastallia's effect, summon out Jack Jaguar. Then link with Balinks and Jack Jaguar to go into Sunlight Wolf. Then of course you use Sanctuary's effect to link some with the same name and go into another Sunlight Wolf, then activate Sunlight Wolf effect to put back your Salamangreat Transcendence back to your hand. Then you're going to use Jack Jaguar's effect to put back the Sunlight Wolf, and then summon it to the zone. Then activate Summon Wolf's effect, other effect to put Salamangreat Gazelle back to your hand. Then you link 4 using these 3 monsters. Summon out Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. So you of course summon it out, so you have these 3 cards in your hand now. You're going to set your Salamangreat Transcendence. Then of course in your opponent's turn, if of course you want to disrupt them or do anything, you can use Salamangreat Transcendence in their turn. Link summoning with this, the same name, and summoning out another Pyro Phoenix from the deck, and then activate effect to destroy their whole field. So I think that's definitely a really good combo, I would say. And of course then in the next turn potentially you can like put back the Pyro Phoenix to the deck, and then do it all over again with Sanctuary if they set something or anything like that. So that's the Pyro Phoenix combo. Obviously there are many other combos in this deck you can do, but I think this is pretty much the best one. Of course, a combo probably most don't even know about. So I hope you enjoyed this Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. For now, goodbye and Omakios out.